All right, on today's one of these podcasts, today we're going to be taking a look at a recent trend from marketing departments using AI avatars to communicate to both prospects and channel partners. And then we're going to take a look at what's concerning CEOs and CROs. And then we're going to take a look at some of the biggest challenges facing channel partnerships. So check it out. Now, you've likely heard the term know, like, and trust. So, are B2B companies successfully building trust with synthetic media? The problem is, viewers can obviously tell these are synthetic spokespeople, and your audience needs authenticity to build trust. So, that's why a large portion of audiences just shifted from TV viewership over the last few years to watching authentic content on YouTube from real people. Now, the use of AI avatars or synthetic media to communicate with prospects and channel partners is just a really, really bad idea because you just can't build trust with an avatar. Now, here's some examples of AI avatars from a company that we've known about for a few years. There's some great applications for it. These are great for onboarding, compliance training, technical support, sales training, but not for communicating to prospects and channel partners. Why? Well, the subliminal message is that when doing so, you just don't care enough to do something personally to communicate to them, or that you're just small and you don't have enough salespeople to do it, or maybe what you have to say is just unimportant and you're just posting to post versus trying to provide some valuable content to them. So when done right, video is incredible. It's a great way to communicate to an audience. It's very powerful if you have a good message to communicate. Now, how can you connect to your audience and drive that sort of effect? Is number one, you could build your own media practice. And here's what you'd need: a subject matter expert that's really good in front of the camera and that can communicate effectively to your audience and build that trust. The second, you're going to need a copywriter who can create compelling scripts for your subject matter expert. And then you're going to need video production of lightings, cameras, microphones, backdrops, and then video post production, editing, combining raw footage, audio, adding licensed B roll, audio qualities, putting all that together, and then a graphic artist for creating some of the video components, and then thumbnails that explain the video's content and just ensures that it's not confused with the previous video. And then, of course, distribution, sending your video out to prospects and channel partners via multiple platforms, including social media, and then ensuring just each is customized for maximum effect. And then leveraging analytics to study video performance and adjust as needed to improve. And then finally, just creating an audience that wants to hear what you have to say. So option two would be leveraging a company like Wave that could do all that for you. Now, we're really focused on helping our clients to communicate their value proposition effectively through a formula that we've created over the last several years of just connecting with their target audience on a regular basis. And we'll have more to talk about and more information about that on our website and maybe on future podcasts. So take a look at that when that comes up. Next. All right, next we're going to cover a few articles. Now, if you're listening to this as an audio podcast, you can find these articles by Googling Pipeline by Wave. Now, the first one, the article is titled CEOs Are Concerned About the Economy, Labor Market, Technology, Regulation, and Sustainability Initiatives. Now, as a managed service provider, we track trends just to ensure that we're providing the right wages when hiring people for our clients, that we're focused on the right industries for them, and that we're just our programs are effective. So, the economy. Now, here's what we're seeing, and just sort of my thoughts on some of these other issues, and sort of expand on it. Now, CEOs have been inundated with a lot of challenges. Now, the economy, and we heard economists warning about a tough economy coming since 2020. back when businesses were being shut down and government spending started really increasing. You have the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, which was $1.9 trillion in economic stimulus, and the Infrastructure and Investment of Jobs Act, which would provided another 1.2 trillion, and that's just two. So we still hear of supply chain issues. Trade wars would make that even worse, and then political instability. You know, it's wreaking havoc. There's continued kind of monitoring trade wars in Asia and Europe due to the latest developments with that. So we're just watching, just like everyone else. The labor market, there's a lot of challenges with the labor market. Businesses have been really going through a lot of challenges there. And it just depends on the role and where you're trying to find people. We did invest in a interviewing system back in 2019, and that really did help us out and speed up the hiring process. Now, I think wages are increasing also due to other factors like, it's just twice as expensive to purchase groceries or fill your gas tank. The labor market is going to look to employers to help to compensate for those things, and which just makes it more expensive as a business to operate and hire people. So, that's really why, as a company, we've been calling on businesses to outsource their inside salespeople versus hiring W-2 employees. That way, they can promote their inside sales manager and just start focusing on those senior roles and hiring them. Now, I take the unemployment rate with a grain of salt, since that would include anyone whose benefits have ran out or that they went 1099. So another thing that Wave did is we really invested in opening a new US location here, where the job market's good, and that'll be good for our clients. So technology, Wave invested over $150,000 in tech stack since 2017. There's a big opportunity for CEOs to update their sales and marketing operations with the right software. I just think that the major reason the majority efforts fail like this is because of really two big things. The first is the giant time suck of implementation. That's a barrier to adding on new applications. In fact, I saw a company looking to implement new software. They were kind of down the road, and then they just put the brakes on when they found out it was just too time intensive for their staff to onboard. And that's really why Wave doubled down on our certifications, so we could just remove that insane onboarding burden for these applications, because our clients they want to reap the benefits of that without the drain on internal resources. And then the second is just implementing new software solutions for our sales team is notoriously problematic. So when we're managing inside salespeople for a client, they can start and do things with our team first, especially if we're working with them on the software. That can be a really big help, and then they sort of open that up to the rest of their team once things are going. Now, we've definitely been tracking the effects of AI on B2B as more and more software companies that we're working with are integrating AI into their offerings. And it looks like that's just going to continue to increase. So I think if AI can make it easier to build playbooks to respond to online inquiries or bubble up important information about prospects while you're talking to them or fill in missing contact data, that's awesome. So we'll see where that goes. That brings us to regulation. Governments worldwide are increasing regulation, and they're talking about generative AI, and it's been a big buzz. So it's going to be interesting to see how some of those proposed regulations will affect, various industries and business sizes. But that's why we're focused on providing CEOs with ways to reduce their operating costs, so they can kind of get ahead of some of these things that are coming down the road. Sustainability, I think carbon emissions regulation is going to continue to be a area of growing costs for businesses of all sizes. And we've been watching this and already responded by moving sales support operations to where energy regulations aren't going to be as big of an impact for us and on our costs for our clients. And that's going to help us maintain business continuity. So Wave, um, Knowing that your average 20% of your channel partners are actively engaged, I think that's really the low hanging fruit right now is scaling an inside sales team to support more channel partners. And now I personally see just no upside with doing it with W-2 employees since Wave addressed the big challenges of dedicated teams, real-time communication, siloed databases, and a lot more. So outsourcing inside sales is a strategic advantage, but it's just one slice of what we offer. Now, after Wave started providing client branded, dedicated, managed inside sales teams, we just saw a big impact on lowering customer acquisition costs, implementing education programs for channel partners, and just accelerating deal cycles. And that really led us to developing playbooks and content strategies. And I probably should do a entire episode just devoted to building these out, which brings us to marketing. Now, Wave's marketing services are contributing to revenue. That's all we focus on. So that means our content creation isn't different for being different sake, but different because we measure the effectiveness of everything we do, from script writing to video production, video editing, timing on media, um, media distribution, email marketing, you name it. So that brings us to technology solutions. Again, assisting with client implementations, and the impact on onboarding has been a real game changer for us. And then, we've probably been a technology focused company from the start because that's just kind of where I started my time in enterprise storage and selling software. That really led us to really embracing technology early on as a company. All right, so that's going to kind of bring us to the next article I want to touch on. All right, this article is titled Six Challenges Chief Revenue Officers Are Facing in 2023. Since we have a lot of CRO conversations, we wanted to just bubble those up and share them with you and some insights. Competition definitely fierce. Most relay that competition is up and budgets are tight. CROs typically contact Wave when wanting to decrease their customer acquisition cost or improve channel partner programs or just tap into our expertise again with software implementation. The customer journey is definitely complex. B2B buyers just definitely do a lot more research before seeking out solutions. In fact, only 3% of website visitors fill out forms to contact a sales team. I think the customer journey is just horrible with most companies, and it's a big area where most CROs are very concerned over and looking to improve. Companies are great, I think, at driving awareness. Trade shows come to mind, but that just doesn't equate to sales. So creating an inbound outbound system is an area where we're just spending a lot of time building those out for our clients. And since that contributes to revenue 12 months out of the year, that should really honestly be a bigger priority than trade shows. So this is a big emphasis for us right now. We're also seeing just a huge opportunity on educating buyers during that customer journey. Most companies are just pushing out horrible content that repels prospects and partners. It's either a ad, a brag post, a product pitch, dinner pitch, but not educating. So video creation expertise that we're bringing to market is really helping a lot of companies develop content that just shows relevance with their target audience and builds that trust. So the need to use data and technology to drive revenue growth, that's our North Star. Is just thinking about prospects, partners, and building effective content that leverages analytics to measure performance. But I see a lot of software applications out there just measuring things that just don't matter. Um, and that really, we've kind of touched on the economy previously, so I think we'll skip that. But obviously, budget constraints are affecting CROs as well, and there's that stress. Same with talent, an area where we typically start our conversations around talent for our CROs. Now, major initiatives that CROs are taking to address challenges. Investing in tech stack, I would just add that software companies need to show CROs that what that impact's going to be and not overpromise. We've vetted a lot of software companies for our clients and started to really standardize on ones that can consistently provide value to them and return on investment. Expanding into new markets. Unless CROs have a good sized budget, a good sized inside sales team, and the right tech stack, and on target marketing messaging to show value prop to potential buyers on day one, they should just stick to markets that they're already in because there's just a lot of complexity to that. Um, Partnering with other companies, cross selling has been, just a big uptick last few years. It's definitely a smart play. It just makes a lot of sense if you're developing integrations for common customers or, you're doing some sort of co-marketing, but it just depends on the company and the resources that are available to make that happen. Optimizing their workforce. Yeah, we already touched on the advantages of contracted inside sales teams. This just helps CROs to invest and retain their top talent. But unless this is a top-down priority, managers can see this as a threat and sort of scuttle the idea before it gets to the C-suite. So our conversations do better usually in the C-suite. How Wave is helping CROs address these challenges. Sales and marketing software. We talked about software applications where we really fit into the mix. Innovative and adaptive storytelling process. I think our video production business is a competitive advantage. But like anything else, there's a launch window. So if you're an executive listening to this podcast right now, this is something you should check out. Um, Talent acquisition and management. This is where everything started for Wave, contracted teams. And this is an area where we've really perfected, the hiring, onboarding, training, coaching, and managing system by Wave. And we're always looking to maximize our effectiveness for our clients, which is why the wider we go for our clients and the more business units we touch, the greater impact we can have for them. And this really leads me to my last topic, which is an area we focus on heavily for our clients. And that brings us to channel partnerships. Since our clients sell through channel partners, we get to talk to them every day. And this provides us some great insights. And I want to share some of those with you today. So, on this article, challenges to channel partner alignment. Now, it's understood that maintaining alignment with channel partners is essential for success because when it's off, a number of problems, including reduced sales and churn, happen really quick. So, since the pandemic, though, there have been some recent challenges that manufacturers are experiencing and have communicated to us, and that we've worked on to help address for them. And the first one is regular channel partner communication. It's just more difficult due to the following. The economy is increasing pressure for system integrators. So salespeople taking calls with vendors vying for their time is really difficult. And sales managers are also sort of mitigating that traffic that they feel will sort of sidetrack their team from being productive. And most days, system integrators are working from home. They're out about on account calls and then coming back to do their quotes. So they're not in the office for regular office visits from vendors like they were pre-pandemic. Um, Traditional methods of connecting with channel partners to keep them updated on products and services and programs is just less effective. And inadequate sales training is a big one. So channel partners often aren't receiving adequate sales training on manufactured product services um, due to the volume of material that has to be covered, the elephant, and time. And manufacturer investment in training and support and certifications is typically aimed at technicians, not salespeople. Sales training is typically done by local regional sales managers over lunch and learns or webinars. And that really limits the percentage of trained salespeople. So sales training can't be done in a single dose. It requires a more effective method of educating salespeople. And that's just something that Wave has been really focused on solving. Support for channel partners is they often don't feel like they're receiving the level of support that they need from manufacturers to be successful. And this just includes things like, marketing materials, sales tools, technical support. We hear from channel partners that even large manufacturers are difficult to connect with and makes it difficult to lead with their products. Now, if a channel partner isn't able to quickly resolve a customer issue or provide a prospect with information on a timely basis when they're trying to keep a deal moving, they're just going to move on to another manufacturer. Lack of inside salespeople uh, that can take calls, answer questions, or assist with quotes can result in channel partners not doing business with a manufacturer in the future. So, visibility of individual contributors, many manufacturers aren't receiving regular updates from their channel partners. Been a major uptick in job changes over the last 36 months. So, greater than 25%. So, emails may not bounce. So it's really impossible for a manufacturer to know if the person's no longer there. And changes within sales teams often cause projects to be reassigned to another rep, and they may not be up to speed on the manufacturer's products and services. And so they could lose that to a competitor. Uh, channel partners aren't typically sharing opportunities until the sale is made, which makes it really difficult to sell into those accounts properly. So our services are really focused on the challenge for businesses. They often don't have the resources to support all their channel partners, typically only 20%, or they're just having difficulty gaining an audience with their sales teams for regular webinar updates and lunch and learns. Uh, Wave is committed to solving these issues for our clients and really invested in people, certifications, and technology and video production to add more value for the channel partner interactions. And I think they really appreciate that. The challenge is only C suite executives who are concerned about company priorities or long term success really care about these bigger issues. So, as an example, a sales director in need of filling a regional sales position won't be focused on creating demand that goes beyond their territory. And since our sales and marketing programs influence revenue well beyond individual territories, we just see greater success speaking directly to the C suite. So, a big focus at Wave is building our clients' um, image up and specializing in channel partner content that's going to provide context on their solutions that's entertaining, that's easy to digest, that's memorable, and that's scalable. We're doing this by taking our expertise in managing inside sales teams, backed with our subject matter expertise, our background in channel sales, marketing, copywriting, video production, video editing, the distribution network that we're growing for partners and end users. So the results are super exciting. I'd probably pick another 4 security clients that are a really good fit for our video productions. So if you're still listening to this podcast and are interested in taking a look, I'd love to see what your company is doing today, your value proposition to end users and channel partners, and if we'd make a good team. So I hope you found this episode of one of these helpful. Do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. And until next time, this is Dave with Wave.